Today, we're going to talk about manifestation, calling in the things that we desire in our life, getting that outcome that we want for ourselves, and particularly the things that stand in the way of us getting those things that we want and how to navigate that. You might be someone, and most of us are, where certain areas of your life, you're able to call in the thing that you want pretty easily, whereas other areas of your life, you struggle. For example, for me, I've been really good at manifesting financial success for myself, but I have done really poorly in my romantic life. So we're going to open this up and we're going to talk about how our inability to call these things in are actually opportunities for us to grow and expand and learn more about what fulfills us. So, Mitra, to start off, what does manifestation mean to you?
So manifestation to me is exactly what you call it. I liked it, calling something into our experience, meaning there is something that I would like to experience that exists in the department store of universe. And I've gone shopping and I want to, you know, experience that, make that experience mine. And and it's interesting that the first part for me for manifestation is to just clarifying that, because sometimes you just go to the universe.com or universe department store, as I call it, and you're not even sure. It's just like when you go shopping, if somebody sees you and say, "Oh, what are you doing here?" You say, "Ah, just browsing." And there's a difference between knowing exactly what you want and why you want it, and also just randomly, because we're always manifesting, by the way. We are always manifesting. Our manifesting, I mean, since this morning, and it's only, I don't know, 11 o'clock, I've been manifesting a lot already. So manifestation is taking place, but the question is, what am I calling into my experience and manifesting today in this moment?
Mm.
So does that resonate for you?
It resonates with me. Yeah. Yeah. For me, it's the same thing. Having an intention and bringing that intention into physical reality. And how that happens, the means that happens can vary, but that's simply what it is for me. And you brought up an interesting point. You said understanding why we even want a thing.
Mhm.
I reflect on my journey with the areas in my life where I've struggled to call in the thing that I've wanted. And oftentimes, I didn't even fully understand why I wanted that thing.
Mhm. Mhm.
I just wanted it. But I didn't stop to ask myself, what is it? Why do I want this?
Right.
What do I believe that getting this thing will bring me or give me? Because there has to be some sort of benefit we believe that it's going to give us. And understanding that clarified a lot of things for me. In some
Mhm.
instances, it made me realize, oh, damn, I don't really want that thing because the things that I thought it was going to give me, I'm realizing I don't think that it's going to give it to me.
Mhm.
An example in my life was in the department of romance and calling in a partner. And this is an area of my life that I was often conflicted on. I was telling myself that I want to find a life partner. I
Mhm.
want a life partner, someone who I can share my life with. I want to create a family. And when I stopped to pause, because it was not happening. When I stopped to pause and ask myself, why do I want this? What do I believe it's going to give me? I realized truly, and I had to be really honest with myself, because it's easy to trick myself and say, oh no, I want it because I want to be happy in a loving relationship. And no, what I realized, I was wanting to fill a void.
Mhm.
I felt like this lack inside of me, this yearning for a love that I felt like has evaded me in my life. And I imagined that being with a partner would give it to me. And also, I imagined that my community would accept me more because everyone's giving me a lot of pressure about being with someone,
Mhm.
finding a partner. And when I reflected on that and I said, is that really what I want? Or can that being with a partner give me what I want? And the answer was no for me. It's like,
Mhm.
no. And it turned into a period of moving inward and exploring um, what love really is for me and how I can cultivate that love from within
Mhm.
myself without a partner. There's so much I can talk about in that department, but I will I will pause there, and I'm curious to hear from you. Have you had similar experiences where you realize the thing that you want is the reasons you wanted it were
Mhm.
different than what your soul really wanted?
Mhm. And I'm wondering, as we're talking about this, uh, who are listening to us, can you bring to your awareness something that you've been wanting to manifest and hasn't happened? And let's do this together and let's examine it. And I think to me, the first thing is to clarify, why do I want it? Is it even mine? Because there's sometimes the collective desires in life that automatically and without awareness become our desire to manifest. They're borrowed. They're not even mine. So it was interesting. You brought up that for you, it was from fear. So that's one kind. Then there is the kind that it's not even mine. Like somebody somewhere has said, and collectively last time we talked about in our episode about being formulated. you know, there's they've bought into the formula. And now I think that should be my desire. So we're really borrowing and getting a collective picture of life and making it our manifestation goal. So that's another one. But the true manifestation that serves us, because remember, we want what we want because we want to feel fulfilled, happy, meaning, whatever it is. There's some inner reason that we want to manifest and experience what we're desiring. But the question is, what is it? Is it mine? Is it from love? Is it from fear? And when it's not happening, especially, then the second question comes. There is obviously a conflict there. Whereas in a true manifestation, there's coherence. So there's
Mhm.
alignment. I want this when it's truly mine, and it is from my deeper sense. It's from my heart. And then coherence naturally is there. So it's very interesting because I feel this as a witness when I work with AI. It's really fascinating. If I ask, how can I do this, for instance, and I did this intentionally to impress Ben, okay? It gives me an answer. And if I ask, how can I do this to serve Ben, it gives me a different answer.
Yep.
So it's really interesting that how the outer world, whether it's happening or not, is really reflection of our own state of where we're at. So looking at that, and to me, that's the main work, because after that, I will just leave it to the universe and it will happen. But clarifying and aligning, clarifying that this is mine and this is coming from a place that it is really my true desire. And then aligning, because I may be standing with fear, wanting to experience love, exactly what you said, fear of being alone, but going for love. So these are two contrary energies. I'm wanting love with the fear energy, which they're completely opposite. And then, okay, then, all right, then there is maybe some action because I'm a physical being that I can take. For instance, if in your case, of course, you want to go out and connect with people and be open to chatting and speaking and meeting. But that's the very, very third step. The first step was the clarifying, and the second step was really aligning, making sure the alignment is there. And then, sure, you got to take some action. You can't just sit at home believing that you're going to meet someone, even though that also happens sometimes. But yeah, so that's that for me is very important. And yes, I have to answer your question. I've had times that something is like really clunky. It's just not happening. And I'm pretty good at calling in experiences for myself. And usually what I do is I leave it alone for a while because I
Mm.
know there's something that is not smooth. So I just say, okay, later, let me just get over whatever it is. And then when I go back and visit it, I realize that, oh, there were so many things that were coming in the way, that that's what's not happening. Yeah.
Yeah. What I hear you saying is when things aren't working out, it's feedback.
Mhm.
When we're not getting the thing that we want
Yes.
and it's not coming to us gracefully, then there's feedback. It's feedback from the universe saying that there's some sort of inner conflict or something else. There's some sort of lesson to be learned here that we haven't received yet. And once we resolve that conflict or once we receive that lesson, then that very thing that we want
Mhm.
will come to fruition and much more easily and with a lot less effort. And sometimes the feedback is even addressing the belief that things you have to work hard to get the things that you want. Right? Some of us hold that belief that we have to struggle. If we don't struggle for something, we haven't earned it, and therefore we can't get it. Right?
Mhm.
But I wanna close the loop on what I started with the example on the relationship and what I realized through the
Mhm.
process.
Mhm.
So when I got that feedback, things weren't working, and I realized what was truly motivating me, which was it was fear based, was trying to fill a void, a gap, and I used that feedback to then go inward, actually, and I took a conscious break from dating, and I really embraced. I went through a period where I embraced solitude. That's what I realized my heart was calling me to do, and I reached a point where truly I just found so much joy in solitude. I could be in a state of love and joy and in peace doing things on my own.
Mhm.
And it was not until that I got to that point, which was very recent, by the way, that I was like, okay, I have all of this love, I have all this joy. Now I want to share it with someone. And so the motivation shifted, shifted from I want someone to fill a void for me to I've got this love and this joy. I don't want to keep it to myself. I want to share it with someone and I want to co create with someone in this energy.
One was taking, one was giving.
Yeah,
Interesting.
very big shift. And I've only recently I'm seeing someone right now and I'm exploring this new I'm in the thick of it. It's very new and fresh for me, but I can tell you the energy is very different. It's much lighter, it's more free, it's more joyous. Uh yeah.
Fascinating. And also, when you haven't dated yourself, you shouldn't be dating other people. I always say date you to date them. And that's on the relationship side. But I think it's important to also, at the point of manifestation, and I really am wondering if, you know, whoever is listening is coming along with us. Did you examine it? Did you, get some kind of light on this manifestation experience that you are probably struggling with? I mean, that would be a good one to examine throughout this conversation. But I also wanted to speak about the difference between manifestation and creation, because I know people use these two words interchangeably, but to me, they're not the same. Manifestation is basically calling something that it's there. Creation is giving birth to something that is not there, but you wish it to be there. So you call in a partner, like the person that you're seeing, you didn't, create. They were there, but you, by alignment and clarity and taking action, you actually were able to meet that person. But I create, for instance, a painting. I created my book. So those are creation. I gave birth to it, and manifestation is calling in, and they require different frequency and different energy for them to take place. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I'm catching what you're saying. So for me, manifestation can be if I have a financial goal, I want to call in. I'm
Mhm,
calling in that financial success, and I might have
mhm,
an idea about how that would happen, the means
mhm,
that would happen, and I'll try and use the means in some way. There can be creation involved in that process, but ultimately it's about calling in something that I
mhm,
desire. And creation is like, I think of creating a piece of music, right? It's not there.
mhm, mhm,
It's creating something that's a unique expression
mhm.
of what I am, or
Yes.
it's created in a way that is unique to me, even if that's just starting a business. It's
Mhm.
an expression of yourself and your
Yes.
values and your vision. Yeah.
So I'm interested to find out what else comes in the way of your manifestation. By you, I mean everybody that is listening and you, Ben. So one of them was that you were in the state of fear. Do you have any other examples that manifestation was not going smoothly?
It's almost always there's some sort of fear involved, you
Mhm,
know? One thing that I've struggled with, Mitra, is this dissonance between what my mind says it wants and what my heart desires.
mhm,
So often in my life, I was wanting something and it was mind based. It was, it goes back to understanding why we want something. We realize that it's more ego driven. It's coming from a place of lack, whereas the heart is calling for something else, and it can be counterintuitive. One example was earlier this year after the fires. I was displaced, and I from my home, and I ended up at my mom's house for a little bit, and that was really triggering to me. It was very activating to me. I wanted to get out of here as soon as possible, and things were not falling in the place for that to happen for me. And what I did, which I've done many times in my lifetime, I just kind of bulldozed my way out. It's like, you know, I'm gonna I'm gonna take action. If I don't take action, right, nothing's gonna happen. How many of you listening have dealt with that, right? If I don't take action, nothing's gonna happen. What do you want me to do? Nothing. And well, I did take action, and I left, and I kind of was nomadic for that period of time, and it was actually a very unfulfilling time. I went through a dark period for a variety of reasons, but I ended up back in my mom's house, and but this time I ended up back in my mom's house.
Sorry, that's not funny, but it's funny.
I ended up back at my mom's house in a state of surrender this time. I gave up.
Mm,
This is what life always does to me. I try and
mm,
bulldoze my way in a certain direction, and then life just kind of, the universe just kind of shows me, or my soul, whatever you want to call it, that it just breaks it down, breaks me down. Is like, no, that's not what you actually want, right? And I ended up back here in a state of surrender, and oh my god, it's been such a period of deep joy, love, connection, healing. It turns out that my twin brother, came around the same time, um, because he moved from Chicago. So it was a full circle moment. My twin brother, me and my mom under one roof. And it ended up being such a blessing, such a blessing. So an example of my heart was wanting, actually, for me to stay here and to be here. And my mind was like, no, I can't be here. I'm a grown adult. I can't be with my mom. My mom is very triggering to me. I don't want, all of these things. Or I would told myself the story. I need to have my own physical, personal space.
mm.
Um, so
Yeah. I hope that you're
s-
hearing what I'm
the
hearing
dissonance
here.
between the heart and the mind.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm hearing that it is not what we do, it is with what intention what we do that really determines a different result. So when we haven't done the alignment and the clarification and we just take action, I mean, sometimes accidentally, coincidentally may happen, but that's the work that needs to happen. The asking of why, and am I in that alignment with what I'm asking? Which part of me is asking? Which part of my me wanting to manifest this is a huge part of it. I would love to hear from people as they're listening in. There are times that no matter what we do, it doesn't happen, and then it's like something shifts and it just happens and you think, why was it even a problem? It's like you don't understand yourself anymore. It's like, why was it a problem last week? It's not a problem. What happened was that my alignment arrived. And now it's like life is going. I always see it as like a water stream running. And then when I am aligned, I'm going along with that water. So there's no swimming against it. There's no efforting as such. There's
Yeah.
some work. I mean, I'm going along, but it's not efforting. It doesn't bring that difficulty and negativity that we usually experience when we're not aligned and or we're not really clear even why we want what we want. Is it mine? Is it my heart, as you said, or is it my mind? Is there coherence between my heart and mind as I'm seeking this and wanting this? Yeah. Very interesting, huh?
Yeah. So, Mitra, let's also talk about this balance between action and surrender when it comes to calling in the thing that we want. Okay. Because
Yes.
life has given me many lessons about this. And I used to think that I have to make the thing that I desire happen. I need to constantly effort and action. And without me continually taking action towards that thing that I desire,
Mhm,
it won't come. It won't
mhm,
happen.
mhm,
And life just showed me otherwise. And my life experience showed me otherwise, that actually, yes, action was good to a degree, but the big things that I wanted in my life didn't come until I was ready and willing to take a step back,
mhm,
put some energy in, take action, then take a break and step back and allow things to unfold, allow things to unravel, allow synchronicity to happen. So, this balance between action and surrender, what do you observe in people, why they struggle so much with this?
Well, I believe that basically the first aspect is that lack of alignment, and hence there needs to be a compensation for efforting. So there is the energetic alignment, then there is effort. And when there is, misalignment, then I have to compensate for, for lack of alignment. So that's one. But you asked a different question. You said, when do I know? How do I know? And that's a very good question.
When doing is enough,
When
acting is
doing is
enough.
enough.
Because
Exactly.
sometimes the key thing here, and this is what life has taught me, is my doing and my acting is getting in the way of something happening.
Yes. Yes. And for me, the way I observe it and the way I've experienced it is that I have my own formula which says do my best, trust the rest.
I love that.
And the question constantly is, have I done my best? That's it. Have I done my best? I want this to happen, whatever it is. It was interesting recently. I'm in the market for finding a home. Uh, and there was one home that we really wanted, and I specifically really wanted it. And and then of course you do what you do, and I did everything I could. And then my brother and my partner who were like helping me with this, they were just saying, do this, do that. I said, no, I've done my best. And this is the time that, I need to just relax, as you said. This is the time to trust it. If it is mine, it will come. I've done my best. And they were very surprised when it didn't happen and I was fine. They were actually more devastated than I was. And they said, but we thought you wanted it. I said, I did. But I also knew that if it wasn't mine, I had done this work in the beginning, not at the end. I do my best. I go full force. There was nothing creative even that I could do that I didn't do. But then I left it. That's it. I've done my job.
So there's a threshold. You reach a threshold where you understand that anything beyond here is trying to force something that is not meant to happen for me.
Yes.
And
You're cutting the collaboration with the world because you see, when I do everything on my own, it's like I think I'm it, but I'm not it. I don't live in isolation. I am it until other people come in. There's other things happening. And that understanding only comes when you first believe in that. And secondly, constantly I ask myself, have I done my best? Every day I ask myself, because I really wanted this home, have I done my best? And one idea would come is just, now I can also, call Ben and see if Ben can do this. Right. So I did all of that. But then there was a time that question wasn't feeling comfortable. It's like, I think, it's just like, I've done what I can do. It's not feeling right for me.
yeah, it reaches a point where you're starting to feel like you're rolling a boulder uphill, and it shines a light on some core beliefs that I see that you have that we share, which is one that the things we desire are not hard to get. When we
Hmm.
truly want something, yes, we take action. We're intentional about it, and we can get the things that we want. In other words, also life has our best interest in mind. If
Hmm.
something is not working, then life, universe, God, our soul is telling us that maybe that thing that we want is not the best thing for us. There's this understanding and the backdrop, this belief
Trust.
that there is the trust, that there is a greater intelligence. And that can be really helpful because then we can be more attuned to when we're reached that threshold, when we realize, well, this is requiring too much energy. There's too much effort. Something is off here. I need to take my foot off the gas pedal
Hmm.
and just and either just allow, or let go and allow, or I can go within and I can ask myself, am I conflicted on this? Or go into inquiry. Why do I really want this thing? Why do I want this thing?
And I was
Right?
conflicted when I asked that question.
Yeah.
It's so interesting you said that. On the surface, I really wanted it. But when I went really deep in, it's exactly what you said. I found out that I did have a conflict. There was some questions that I really didn't want it for that reason.
Hmm.
And I hadn't disclosed those to myself or to people who were helping me to do that. It was really interesting. You said that.
Yeah.
It is
And
true.
which is the other belief. The other belief is truly when we are totally coherent and unconflicted about something, when we want something, we call it in. It happens. No
Yes.
question. When something is not being called in, it means I'm incoherent in some way. My desire is not totally aligned with my being. One example that comes to my mind is years ago when I had the business and we had a warehouse. We sold pet products, and we had outgrown the warehouse by a lot. We had containers out on the parking lot, and it was a shared parking lot. And I had spent several weeks, more than weeks, I think even a couple months, looking for a new warehouse. Yeah, I think I shared this story before.
Yeah.
Anyways, a long story short, I had put so much energy into trying to find the right place. And I finally just took a step back and I was like, I'm just going to take a break from all of this. And a week later, I think someone came knocking on the door, noticing the containers that we had outside and asking us, are we looking for extra space? And they led us to a warehouse that was exactly what we wanted. And so that was an example. In this case, that was an example of where it was a matter of the doing, taking a step back, right? Sometimes we just need to get out of the way.
Yes.
Sometimes it is that we're conflicted, and other times it's that we're just in the way. We keep getting in the way of the perfect thing that we want to manifest, which is another core belief that's coming to my mind, is the belief in synchronicity.
Mhm.
the belief in an organizing intelligence that can make things happen that we could never imagine in ways that we can never imagine.
Mhm.
It is not cause and effect. It's synchronicity, and you can't explain it. And I've learned that the greatest miracles and the greatest um, things that I've achieved or that I've called into my life have come in through synchronicity.
Huh.
Another way of saying it is through luck, right? Some people call it luck, right? But it's available to us, but only to the extent that we get out of the way. If we keep getting in the way by doing, it doesn't leave space for the universe to manifest the synchronicity for us.
Yeah.
How does that resonate with you?
Yeah, we need to leave some room for magic, I always say, because it's like traveling. If I've filled up everything, every moment of my day, I'm not leaving room for like something amazing to take place in a new city and with new people, because I've organized my day as if it's a job, it's work. And when we leave room, when we take our hands off, we're saying, okay, your turn, universe, higher self, as you said, whatever you want to call it, come in and you do yours, you do your magic, and magic can take place. So leave some room for magic. And when I'm overdoing, I'm taking the magic out of my experience
Yeah.
and not able to see if there is no complete alliance and alignment there.
Yeah. And we're not, I want to be very clear on this because sometimes I share this with people and they're like, yeah, well, if I don't do anything, what, you just expect me to sit around and do nothing? It's like, no, I actually, my formula is like I always develop a plan and I take action towards the thing that I want, and I see that as me putting energy towards the thing that I desire, that putting energy towards the thing that I want to manifest. But there is a balance between doing and non-doing, or action and surrendering. It's a delicate balance, creating enough space for synchronicity to happen as well, to work to your favor.
Yes. This was a very satisfying conversation, Ben. I think we talked about really clarifying what we want, why we want it, is there alignment, what is the action we can take, where do we stop taking action. I mean, this is a complete way of looking at manifestation. Of course, there are a lot of details and a lot of experiences that people have that can be helpful. But I think in general, this was a really satisfying way of talking about manifestation. I know I felt really complete with it, and love to hear from people who are listening your experience of manifestation, what worked, what didn't, or maybe you have something to add to what we haven't talked about and needed to.
Thank you all for listening. Have a beautiful week. Mitra, until next time.
Ciao.
Thank you so much for tuning in today. For a list of the links and other resources referenced in this episode, check out the podcast description.
If you're benefiting from our podcast, we'd love if you could help us reach more people by subscribing. Your support means the world to us. From our hearts to yours, we thank you.